Hello, and welcome to Casual Shenanigans Gaming, a podcast all about all things PC gaming related. We should have an awesome show for you guys tonight, and tonight we are joined by Dave, the not-so-evil Viking 13.
What's up, guys?
Joel.
Hey, everyone.
Friend of the show, Yoshi.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Scanner Barkley.
Hello.
And we should have another guest joining us soon, and I am Germ Gaming, one of your hosts. So tonight, we're actually changing up the format of the podcast just a tiny bit. You might have seen me talk about that briefly on Twitter earlier. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to do the news like we normally do. We're going to talk a little bit about a few things, and then we're going to actually go offline for our main topic tonight, which is Titanfall. The reason that we're doing that is we feel like we can probably have a little bit better of a discussion when we're not trying to manage having a live broadcast. That may or might not actually be the case, but we're going to try it like an experiment tonight. So you guys will be able to watch the final podcast on either of our channels within a couple days. You'll be able to listen to it on iTunes, everything like that. The only part of it that's going to be shorter is just the normal live Hangout feed that goes on my channel right after the podcast ends. So anyway, thank you guys for joining us tonight, and we will start the podcast with the news. Now,
the news.
Dave and Yoshi use Astro A50s, right? Yoshi, are yours A50s? Yeah, and they are generally considered to be some of the better gaming headsets, but kind of all gaming headsets suffer from the problem that they do not sound as good as they cost. They generally have okay mics.
You mean free?
Not all of us got to fly to London on the magic luxury jet to shield for Electronic Arts, Dave.
It's a good life.
But yeah, most gaming headsets, they kind of suck for the money. I mean, the A50s, what do A50s go for? Like $250?
$300.
$300, okay.
Yeah, they're way too expensive.
They get you a wireless headset and the mix amp and everything, but that does not sound like $300 worth of actual headphones.
I'm going to say that the wireless is kind of awesome. Like, I would
wireless
never thought,
is cool.
Like, I want wireless headsets, but that's just...
Wow, yeah, just spin in a circle. That is the future.
I upgraded from the Logitech G930s. That's what I upgraded from. They're much better than the G930s when I got them brand new. But I also got these on the Astros on eBay used for $185, and they sound great.
For $185, they become a little bit of a better deal with the wireless and everything like that. But anyway, there's a couple companies that have tried to come out with audiophile gaming headphones, and they usually suck. But there's another company that's going to give it a try. So Phoenix, spelled F-E-E-N-I-X, they are coming out with the Aria headset, which they say is a studio-grade headphone and microphone combination, which I highly doubt because the included picture has a cord that is maybe like 3 millimeters wide. But it does have 50 mil drivers, 64 ohm impedance, 101 decibel sensitivity. Like, they have, the specs look good, but that's not, I mean, specs don't really necessarily mean a whole lot because specs of a lot of headphones look good and they sound like junk. But they do come with a nice microphone. They said they are going to be really good for gaming, and audiophiles will actually want to use them. And they are available to pre-order for $350. Which I still think is way too steep, because anyone who's going to drop that much on a gaming headset is probably just going to buy an actual headset and then a mic, which is what I did. I didn't spend anywhere close to that much. But
you say those are wireless?
No, they're not wireless. They're wired. Audiophiles. Now, see, that's the thing is they say they're audiophile level. Audiophiles are a very snobby bunch, and wireless is generally it's generally looked down on for true like. These are the type of headphones that have wooden ear cups on them, if that tells you anything about the level of snobbery you need to properly enjoy them. But, I don't know. We'll see if they're any good. They might be. Okay.
Says the audiophile.
No. I'm like toes. Okay. I'm like toes in the shallow end audiophile, okay?
Okay. So says the addict.
Okay. So, NVIDIA, they still sell the Titan, even though the 780 Ti is faster, but they sell it because it's better at compute applications and stuff, and some people will buy a $1,000 video card just because it's the most expensive one on the market. Well, they've now introduced the NVIDIA GTX Titan Black, which is not actually black. Some of the fins are black, but overall the card actually looks pretty much like the normal Titan. It has 6 gigs of memory on it, which in case you're curious, is way more than you actually need for most things. I think it was Maximum PC did a test last week of how much video memory games actually pull. And at 1440p with a ton of mods, they were barely able to get Skyrim over like 2 gigs of actual memory.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so I don't like, maybe for 3D and CUDA.
That is so depressing.
Why?
That is depressing.
Why is that depressing?
Knowing that they have freaking video cards with 3 gigs, it's like, what a freaking waste.
Six gigs, Joel. 6.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
It's practical.
I told Dave when the Titans came out, I was like, this is the most retarded thing ever, because you'll never ever reach the potential of those video cards.
That's not true.
Yes,
That's not true.
You will. That's
the
completely true.
The 8800 Ultra came out in 2007 and was the baddest card on the market, and 3 years later it could barely play mid-range games. Like that's
It just takes time.
Yeah, it just takes time. You'll absolutely be able to use it. But they are still a great card. I mean, I don't think they're worth $1,000, but if you
No, not at all.
But if you're the type of person who wants to spend $1,000 on a special black edition of a video card with 6 gigs of memory, this is an option.
I'm waiting
to SLI.
Personally, I'm waiting for the XXX Black Edition Pro Elite Special Edition.
What is the percentage of SLI now of how much performance? Because I was just looking it up.
Well,
recently
it
for
entirely
getting
depends on the game.
A double 2 770s, and every forum I see to go on is like, no, just get a better card of single. Don't even do SLI.
Well, because you get more issues with SLI. That's the thing, is you can double the performance or almost double it for less money sometimes in a larger card, but you're going to have more compatibility issues. It's going to draw more power. Like, there are actual disadvantages. But
I'm sure there are. So many disadvantages. I guess it's life as a PC gamer.
No,
Battlefield 4, if I crank it up to like the super sampling, like rendering at say 140%, I can hit like 80% usage on both of my 680s. So it can be pretty efficient depending on the driver.
The main advantage of SLI would be if you had a card that was a couple generations old, like 1 or 2 generations old, and new ones come out and the prices drop. And like, let's say you have a card, you can get a second one for $200, and that gives you the performance equivalent of like an $800 card, because you really can do that. That's the advantage.
But my question though, wouldn't it just be better to just sell the video card you have and just spend the money you would spend on a second one to just get a better
sometimes, but not always. It depends on how old your card is and how much it's going for.
So I guess you got to wait until it's really freaking old. That's basically your only option.
Well, like Dave's double 480s, the nuclear reactors he was running.
For me,
they were worth like what, 110 used?
120, yeah, pretty 120. Low.
Okay, so they were better than any $240 graphics card. They still beat a single 680 when 680s were going for what, 350?
Did they?
Yeah. In your benchmark scores, they were beating it by a little bit. Remember, your 680 was slower by like 10%, and that's why you weren't sure if you could keep it.
You mean the SLI, both of them together?
The SLI 480s were beating 1680. So, I mean, it's doable, but anyway, let's navigate back to on topic. So, it's based off the same Kepler GK1010 GPU, 2800 CUDA cores, 15 SMX units, and the core clock speed has been bumped up to 889 megahertz. The benchmarks I saw, I mean, it looks like it's ever so slightly better than the Titan and the 780 Ti. So it's the same price as the original Titan was. So I guess if you want to buy one, I don't know, go for it.
I'm used to being the odd one out here, but CUDA cores. I know you've said it so many times.
All right, Dave,
you've kind of
take it away.
explained a little bit. No, wait. The question is not yet. Is that always been CUDA, like with video cards? Is just, and when did that start coming around?
CUDA is NVIDIA's standard.
Okay, I figured it was NVIDIA's, but I was like, has that been around like for a long time, or is that kind of a newer technology? What was before that?
8, I think. Well, GPU compute is relatively new.
Okay.
It didn't really hit the scene until, I think, didn't NVIDIA lead that charge with CUDA, Jeremiah?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. They were the first ones supported because AMD, in typical AMD fashion, wanted to like stick to OpenCL because it'd be a more open thing, but it wasn't nearly as efficient. I think it's only in the last like 2 years that OpenCL has become viable.
Yeah.
For GPU compute stuff. It's still not quite as good as CUDA, but yeah, it's I mean, it's nice. It's harnessing the power of parallel processing over thousands of tiny processors or stream processors to speed up a render job. I mean,
Makes sense.
it's a game changer for some people. Like I can render in Premiere, I can render a 720p video feed. I can render an hour of footage in about 11 minutes.
That's
and if I did that on just the processor, it'd be probably closer to 40. So, I mean, it's worth something. But yeah, Titan. Okay, Borderlands 3 is in development, except it isn't. Gearbox has said they're definitely making it. They know they want it. They want it to exist. It's going to exist, but they don't know what it's going to be like yet. So really, it's a promise that we're going to get it eventually, but they are not going to give it to us yet, and they're not currently developing it. They said they're not going to pull a Valve and just jerk everyone around for like 10 years.
Yeah, let's hope they don't pull a Colonial Marines.
Why?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
They showed gameplay of it back at E3 before it came out, and it looked amazing. But then when it came out, it didn't look anything like it. Yeah.
That's right. Was that Gearbox?
Yeah, Gearbox software.
Yeah.
Well, it was about 11
Could have been a different team.
Hodgepodge of studios, to be honest. There was so many different people involved in that. It was always going to suck.
Yeah, didn't that game bounce around a few times before it landed at Gearbox? They bought Duke Nukem Forever, so they're always looking for a cripple to like drag through the door.
Yeah, to beat to death upon release. The only funny thing I find about that Borderlands 3 statement is they don't know what they want it to be. Well, Borderlands 1 was an amazing game and Borderlands 2 was an amazing game, but it was very much Borderlands 1.
Right, exactly. That's
so
also
make
didn't make
Borderlands
sense.
3 and do what you did before. Make it the same.
Just don't screw it up and everyone will love it. I mean, that's...
Yeah. Lots of guns and a bit of whoop and you're good.
Yeah, it's just more guns. Make sure there's more, even though the number of guns is kind of a theoretical number at this point, have more theoretical guns and more snappy dialogue and make it like 20% longer and you're good to go.
I think my favorite quest in that whole game was this one guy who just kept screaming at you to shoot his face.
Shooty McShootface?
Yeah. I was like, that was worth the game. I was like, shoot me in the face! Shoot me in the face! Shoot me in the face! And I was like, alright, quest done.
I loved I just loved all the random bandit dialogue. Like, when you would kill them, they yell things like, I regret everything. And
my favorite was I almost finished paying off my loans.
my mortgage. I think it's my mortgage. Yeah. Oh, that game was
horrible
awesome.
last words. Like, I'm thinking about my debt. This is how I die. My last thoughts are my family.
You have nobody who cares. Let's talk about Battlefield 4 real quick, because I feel like that's a topic we haven't visited.
Dave, you might want to leave right now.
No. We're going to talk about Player Appreciation Month, which is not really something you can get upset about. It's all good stuff, We're going to talk about the free weapon shortcut kits. They have, from now until February 24th, all players can get the handgun shortcut, which, as the name implies, unlocks all the handguns. And if you're a premium member, you can get the DMR shortcut kit, in case you haven't unlocked all the DMRs already. And then next week, from the 25th to the 4th, people can get the grenade shortcut, and premium members can get the shotgun shortcut.
You know what, Jeremiah? I think at this point, that's what Battlefield 4 needed, was just more DMRs and more grenades. Yeah. Especially with Metro coming out, we need more DMRs and grenades.
That's true. It's not going to revisit itself. If you want the authentic Operation Metro experience, they need to make sure everyone has as many grenades as they can carry.
So a question on that.
Yes.
With the pistols and the grenades, how do you get them if you're not a premium member? Do they just add it to your account, or do they do a battle pack thing, or what?
I think it's battle packs, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't think so.
When did they start it?
It's probably an Origin download.
Yeah, you have to add it to your cart. I did the DMR one just because I don't ever want to unlock them.
No, sure. Whatever reason works for you.
Yep.
So I could do that right now.
I found it amusing that they did a DMR balance based off community feedback when apparently so few people had DMRs that we needed shortcuts to get them.
I wouldn't want any balancing feedback based on the people who use DMRs all the time in Battlefield 4. I don't feel like I want to hear their opinion on the DMR.
I want to be able to kill you quicker, so...
Could we up the rate of fire? It doesn't feel like a chain gun enough, and we had less recoil.
Yeah, can the sonic crack be louder to help suppress my enemies and make their ears bleed?
Now, last week there was a Battlefield patch, wasn't there?
Yes.
How
very,
is that?
Very small one.
How's that treating you guys so far? You guys who have played Battlefield since last week.
Poorly.
Dave, poorly. It's not going well.
No. Like, I was the previous patch, the patch before that, made it a reasonably playable game. There was still like one hits and stuff, but lots of the issues went away. Now with the most recent patch, I have crashes back, I have no hit markers, I've got like one hit kills, no damage being done to people no matter how much I shoot them. Invisible enemies.
Those are the best.
Is my favorite. You just see a little name
sneaky.
tag running straight at you. You're like, shit.
No, they just added ghosts.
It's like a feature. I mean, Call of Duty had ghosts, so
They were doing it to announce partnership with Activision.
That still irritates me. Like there was nothing about that game they were actually ghosts. Like the type of ghosts that like tip over skyscrapers and kill everybody they meet. Those type of ghosts.
So subtle.
And shoot guns in space, because that's a thing now.
It is. The whole space section, that's pretty much where you have to go. All right, it's that time of year again. Let's just get it on.
Scanner, didn't that last patch last week mainly just fix bugs that were introduced in the last patch before that, like the sound loop crash and the that character that was always spotted on that one game mode and crap like that?
Yeah, and they messed up so much stuff. Like they put in, apparently there was a glitch where the gunner seat in tanks wouldn't have a gun, which seems to just make it a seat to me.
The forward observation post.
Yeah. Now, I never had that glitch happen in game. Not once did I have that glitch. The patch comes out to fix the glitch. The first game I'm in, I hop in a tank. I've got no fucking gun in the seat. And I was like, why? What did I do? I'm convinced that there's actually like 3 different versions of Battlefield on PC going around, and like
That's why the
community
download
is
is so
split in
large.
thirds as to who's playing what at any given moment.
It was
Well,
trying
Dave-
to sync them all together.
You found out you had a very interesting problem that you kind of fixed last night. Some of your issues. Why don't you tell everyone about that? Because other people might actually be having the same problem.
I'm still getting micro stutter occasionally on explosions.
Of course
but
you
I
are.
was-
You're never going to not have it. It's Battlefield.
Yeah. I think Skinner, you were getting some of that too, right? In the recent patch, certain explosions.
Yeah, I went the route of weaponizing it though.
What?
I weaponized that glitch in the game where people were getting stutter upon explosions, and on locker I would just chuck 3 mini grenades into a room full of people. everyone in there would crash, and I'd just walk in uncontested. It was easy.
Only in Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was also getting like really frequent stutter just running around. The menus would like cause my GPUs to freeze, and it wasn't SLI doing it. It was just constantly happening. Turns out my page file had been switched to one of my older hard drives of the like 8 I have in my computer, and the hard drive was just hitting 100% read and causing spikes in the game. So I put my page file back to my SSD for now.
Now, Dave, for people who... I know everyone who watches this is super excited about all things PC gaming related and knows what a page file is, but just on the off chance that people don't care, what is a page file and what does it do?
Page file is your virtual memory. It's the unfortunate circumstances where you fill up your RAM and your computer has to use hard drive space as temporary RAM, which is much slower, which is why using it on my slower hard drive was causing massive lag spikes in the game. I only have 6 gigs of RAM, and I'm running Battlefield 4 64-bit.
I know. Well, no, Scanner, here's the thing.
You peasant.
Because Dave bought into the future of Intel back in like 2010, which was the mighty 1366 platform, and triple channel RAM, it was it. Like, man, it was happening, and it was going to be the future. Until people didn't like counting their RAM by 3s and went back to good old dual channel, which guess what, performs just as quickly, and everyone else moved on.
Look, Jeremiah, you can't talk about my 6% performance boost in certain applications in certain situations. Occasionally, when the moons align. Oh,
hey, Dave,
that RAM cost me $240 in 2010 for 6 gigs of RAM of DDR3.
Dave,
Wow.
I have 14 USB 3 ports.
Yeah, they're all used, aren't they? They're all used.
I have 2 that are free.
I knew it.
So while you're over enjoying your triple channel RAM, just think about all those glorious USB ports that I'm just stuffing things into.
I missed the USB 3 train by like not even 6 months. It made me so angry. Although
Anyway.
SATA 6 took like a whole other year after that because of that bad chipset launch. Like Intel had to pull boards that had SATA 6 on them for like 8 months.
I don't want to go all NVIDIA fanboy. I just feel like I should mention, not NVIDIA, AMD. Never mind. AMD had SATA 6 and native USB 3 working way longer ago than Intel.
Oh yeah, Intel dropped the ball big time with 1366. Like that socket was so late and so underplanned and so glitchy.
Yeah, it was just bad all the way around. But you've enjoyed it up till now, and you're planning on doing your big fancy build. But
to reiterate, my first 1366 build was the one that caught on fire. So there's that too.
Now, if it makes it through the fire, it ought to be it ought to be good for the distance at that point. Like if your computer survives fire, the
motherboard didn't. The CPU did it actually. That was impressive.
Did the CPU live or did the CPU die?
The CPU lived. Actually, it was fine.
Yeah, now is that the one in your work computer?
No, it was this one right here. The motherboard.
This is the same
fried.
CPU that caught on fire?
The CPU didn't catch on fire. The voltage regulator on the motherboard for the CPU caught on fire.
Gotcha.
Thankfully, the CPU survived, because you think that the voltage regulator would be a bad thing to have issues with when you're benchmarking and a fire starts. I was pretty sure the CPU was dead, but it was okay.
So, that's the news. Now,
I was just, since you're on video cards and stuff, did you hear about
go ahead.
AMD starting up that kind of GeForce experience, but for AMD?
Yeah,
it's supposed to reward people for checking to see if your game is compatible.
For Bitcoin mining?
Yeah, for Bitcoin mining. See, this is GeForce experience. It's not really. It's just to be able to collect all your data, so then they can do whatever they want with it.
Oh, with the that Raptor thing.
I don't know what it's called. I think it is called a little bit today.
Well, no, AMD, they've got something else called Raptor.
Yeah,
do you guys who have NVIDIA cards, do you feel like GeForce Experience really does much for you other than shadow play? Like, has the optimization really made any of your games that much better? Because I don't feel like that at all. I feel like I've gotten no difference.
I don't like it changing my options, actually. It really bothers me.
It really bothers
I
me.
don't let anything automatically happen on my PC.
Exactly. I want control. I don't like that.
Well, I tried optimizing a couple games, but I don't know. It didn't really seem like it changed a whole lot, and it didn't really seem to make much of a difference. Maybe if you had much older hardware and you really need actually optimized settings, like you really need to be very careful, maybe it would make a difference, but...
There should be a switch in there that just says DayZ potato mode on.
Well, actually, I think it's really good if you want to actually get really steady frame rates and stuff. But most of the high-end PC gamers, I think Dave, he would go for graphics over FPS any day. So it's not going to be helpful for him.
Joel, you like to sing the 60 FPS horn all the time, but you also play Battlefield 4 on a console. There's no way you're getting 60 FPS on almost everything you play.
I'm just saying that program works well.
You played Grand Theft Auto 5 at like 20 FPS. We're like, guys, it looks fine.
At least I was playing it.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
It's been a fun experience. Okay, I'm just saying that it works well for if you want to get your game to consistently run at a good steady frame rate. But if you care about graphics, you're going to change it no matter what. Like Dave would do. Like
that's true.
I talked about the other day, and he's like, he has to check everything up higher. Like he can't. He just his eyes starts twitching.
If you don't have like 16x multi-sampling or whatever on,
So
because everyone totally knows what trilinear filtering is and why we need it.
It's when textures are at a sharp angle and the camera has to filter them and at a distance. It helps with the blurriness at an angle, and it's almost free on modern graphics cards.
I wasn't asking, but thanks.
It's almost free.
I think he was being facetious.
I just went for it. No apologies.
Speaking of potato mode, guy who's been playing DayZ with us a little bit recently, you'll see him on some of the new episodes. I went over to his house because he's gaming on a Core 2 Duo and a Radeon 4870. I built this computer for him in 2009. It's kept up pretty well. But for DayZ, it's a little bit inadequate. He has to play with everything on very low to achieve like 35, 40 FPS. And of course in cities it goes much lower than that, but it looks really, really bad. Like, it looks like everything is made out of clay, And if you're like on the edge of the airfield and you try to zoom in, you can't actually see through any of the windows. Like, I feel like it's a real disadvantage when you're playing the game. And because of all the aliasing, at distance you can't tell. Like, every bush looks like it's a person or a zombie because of all the jaggies.
So it's an amazingly exciting game then.
It's very tense. Like,
So what you're saying,
definitely
Jeremiah,
feel-
is he basically owns an Xbox One simulator?
Oh.
Xbox One actually is a little more powerful than this computer, so
Oh, that's hurting.
he's got 32-bit Windows. He'll be upgrading soon. If he's watching this, I'm only teasing you because we're friends.
No, he isn't. He
Buy
isn't
better stuff.
teasing at all.
Buy better stuff. Okay,
Don't believe
so
him. Jeremiah's just bitter and unhappy.
I am. Skinner, what's your cat's name?
Thomas.
Thomas. What type of cat is Thomas?
One of my many cats, and he's trying to eat my frickin' headset cord, so he gets to leave the room now.
So if you go out, we'll know what happens.
Go. Oh god, now there's 3 cats in here. I can't deal with this.
Well, I find it amusing that you try to tell a cat what to do.
I can do whatever. He's normally okay for like behaving himself, but he also likes to eat expensive electronics,
That's not good.
which isn't good. Well, chew them at least, if not swallow them, I guess. So
I dropped my wife off to visit her college roommate this past weekend, and we walked in. First thing I noticed was on the wall where most people would have a power strip plugged in. She had, those wall warts where it's one, like you plug into one and it comes out to 3.
Oh no.
She had 2 of those, and they were all completely full, and they were stacked. It turns out her bunny had gone to work on the power strip. Thankfully, it wasn't on, but I don't know what it is about household pets and the desire to chew anything that looks like a cord, but it's really annoying.
I may
cute
or may not
pets
have
make
a wall wart
adorable
like
corpses.
But, anything that results in one less cat in the world, I guess, is something I can't complain about too much.
Oh.
But-
Hey, whoa, hang on. I like animals of all kinds, especially cats, because they're inherently evil.
I appreciate the fact that they're evil. Like, I respect them for that, but I don't personally want to be near them.
Mine doesn't seem to be evil, though. He just does his own thing.
Aw, it's cute that you believe that.
He's probably doing evil things while you don't know about it.
Yeah, he's taking advantage of you there, Yoshi. He's plotting in secret.
Yeah, there's scars on your back that you wake up and you're like, where did this come from? Yeah, it's your cat, man.
So, Second Assault came out. I don't have Second Assault because I don't have premium. And probably, yeah, right. I will probably never own premium at this rate.
You smart consumer.
Yeah.
But it has released. So, Yoshi, do you have premium?
No, but I'm kind of curious because they have Battlefield 4 on sale for $30. Do they have premium on sale?
No.
Premium's not on sale.
Premium's not on
They
sale.
have a combination with the game and premium for $80, but I already have the game, so
That's like the same price as buying them individually. What a deal.
Thanks, EA.
But Dave, you've played a lot of it. Scanner, have you played Second Assault yet?
Yes, I have. I was actually playing a good few hours over the last couple of days to try and get some thoughts together on it.
Let's hear them. Dave and Scanner, tell us about Second Assault.
I want to hear Skinner first so I can kind of like aim the direction that I'm going to go in. I'm just going to follow his lead.
It's pretty bad. My initial reaction to the DLC was that no DLC is going to save broken core mechanics anyway, so I tried to keep that in mind when I was playing it, that I wasn't going to hold the shitty hit reg and whatnot against the Second Assault DLC itself. But then you realize that most of the map redos are pretty lazy, and then you think about how good a DLC Back to Karkand was for Battlefield 3.
Yeah.
And then you think, fuck this noise, and you just play Insurgency for an hour.
That's true. From what I saw of like footage of Caspian Border, other than that wall, it kind of seems like, guys, imagine Caspian Border, but all the trees are kind of orange.
But it's autumn. Romantic. You got Chinese and Russian soldiers taking strolls in the woods.
In the Middle East, right? Isn't it in Iraq? Isn't that where Caspian is?
No, it's near Iran, north of Iran, I think.
Okay, well, a place where the Russians and Chinese are all the time.
Oh yeah, and Metro. Oh, Metro with airbursts and the new buffed LVG. It's all I ever wanted.
How is the air? Because I feel like that map, probably when they created the airburst or put it in the game, they were thinking, guys, you know what's coming up. We have Operation Locker, but just wait, Metro is coming.
There's probably like extenuating circumstances around it, but I loaded into Metro to see what it was going to be like, and I stood in a corner bank shotting LVGs off the train into this group of lads that had been hiding, and I saw this little scope glint of a sniper down the tunnel. So I said, I'll launch one at him, and I fired down an LVG grenade, and 1,300 points later, I had clearly hit a pre-made C4 trap that they were going to fall back and we were supposed to like rush down into. Nope. It was just, I don't know. I'm struggling at the moment. Like, I'm trying to see the humor in the whole thing, and most of my Battlefield content right now is all like humorous, kind of, oh, look how dumb I am, and look how the game screwed this guy over instead of me, kind of stuff. But
you're gonna start making videos called Best Battlefield 4 Trolls and Funny Moments Part 30.
I actually have a series called Battlefield 4 Bullshittery.
I saw that. It was very good. I was thinking about doing a similar series,
I like
but I
that name.
Bring myself to keep playing the game. But yeah, every time I play, it's like there's some new bug, like the W key no longer works, or just like all kinds of crazy problems that you just don't get in other games.
How the jets can't take off on certain runways, they just smash into the
they're
end.
too short.
The runways are too short.
That feels like something that should have come up in playtesting if there was any. Well, no, actually it is coming up in playtesting. You guys are the playtesters.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Jeremiah, obviously DICE does not care or test air anything in Battlefield 4.
That's true.
They don't care about air vehicles. Screw those guys.
Hey, look, air vehicles are never going to make it into competitive play in their little 5v5, which I reckon is where all testing and balancing occurred. So, screw the average player. We might be able to make MLG this year. Oh, no, we didn't. Damn.
I knew Metro was going to be good when the first time I ever spawned onto it, like right in front of my squad mates, was the pickup 6-round grenade launcher. And I'm like, well, welcome back to Metro.
When in Rome.
Yeah. I'm just in the stairwell popping grenades across the Metro, getting kills.
No, but didn't they change it with Levolution?
There's a piece of tile that falls.
There's an elevator you can die in now.
You and your whole squad can die in it together to all the rockets.
Which is great.
The door opens and it's just a massacre inside.
Kind of like the elevator on Shanghai is kind of like that. It's like everyone just camps the elevator. Is it the same thing in Metro?
I've got a screenshot that I had to take earlier. I was in Metro and I was laughing about it in chat. Like, the entire other team and my entire team was just laughing at Metro in Battlefield 4. And I've got this screenshot, and there's like, I think it's 11 or 12 grenade indicators on the outskirts of my screen all around me as I spawn in. I'm just like, boom, and I go, that's a lot of grenades. Click. Oh, dude,
that's Joel's favorite part about Battlefield is all the grenades on Metro. He loves his screen shake and his explosions.
Dude, I swear, I feel so bad buying the game. Like, I feel bad about it because I should have learned my lesson. I was like, I don't think
Joel,
I should
you
get
didn't
this
just
game.
buy
I'm not gonna
it.
pay it.
You bought it on 2 different platforms.
Well, okay. That's very true.
Go on, rationalize that.
So far, I've had a better experience on the PS4 than the PC.
I played it on the PS4.
I'm not talking about graphics craziness. I'm talking
about all the other problems, and I had all the same problems when I played it on your PS4.
It's honestly, the glitches and all those little problems were not any of my worries about Battlefield 4. I didn't really run into. I don't even know if I ran into one of those problems. It was, the game is just explosive fast. It's absolutely explosive fast. It's Michael Bay the game constantly. The maps are too small for jets, too small for helicopters. They're just really small, and there's too many vehicles.
Preach it.
It's just,
whoa.
It's ridiculous.
Don't you say too many vehicles now?
No, in some maps there are.
I just said there's too many vehicles. I just say it becomes where if you're not in a vehicle, you're screwed. Most of the maps, you're screwed if you're not in a vehicle. Like, because if you're playing online and you're not able to connect with people, you have no chance. You have no chance to try to like, oh, help me over here. It's be in a vehicle, be really good. I'm not very good in vehicles, so it's like, it's not a fun game at all for me.
In Battlefield 4, it's hard to get good in vehicles because you can't stay alive long enough. Like, I feel like it's good. It's easy to get good at the mobile AA if you're able to get in one. I still have not been able to get into a mobile AA at any point in Battlefield 4.
I just think Battlefield 4 is a terrible 64-player game because the maps are way too small. There's only I think there's maybe 2 maps that are decent for 64 players, but they have way too many vehicles, way too many tanks, and they just spawn like crazy. And it's frustrating because you jump on a map and this server has infinite amount of respawns, and I'm like, I just want to find one that has no vehicles or like 1 tank or 2 tanks for each per house.
Close Quarters, Battlefield 3, my favorite DLC from Battlefield
all
3.
I play is Team Deathmatch because it's just at least it's honestly less grenades. It's most people just shooting, so it's less shaky. It's less like it's less chaotic than playing Conquest 64. It's just way too many people.
The best Battlefield 4 servers I've found allow 1 spawn of the vehicles, and once the vehicle blows up, they don't spawn back.
Oh, that's awesome! I didn't even know that was an option.
What server is that?
And it's amazing. Some of the games I've had on them, like you see 5 or 6 guys fighting to keep a tank alive. You know, trying to rep it, trying to get rockets off on the enemies, trying to move the tank out of danger. It's just that's some intense. Good stuff.
Now, I'm curious to hear what you guys think. DICE made a pretty big promise back when the news broke that Battlefield 4 was horrible. And they said, guys, we care so much that we're going to stop development on all DLCs until the issues are fixed. Except for China Rising, because that was already done, so we'll go ahead and put that out. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but they haven't even pretended to say that all the issues are fixed, right?
No.
So they're just kind of sweeping that under the rug, and they're releasing this anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I thought. I guess I don't know what else to say about it, but...
and their lives are starting to get tough now. I can see, like, let's say Alan Kurtz. I can see him starting to have a degree of a breakdown on Twitter, which is interesting. I understand that they're getting a lot of hate.
Well,
but
I mean, sometimes that
they
happens.
Made a shitty product, and
well, I think it's kind of harder to say.
The risk.
I think it's harder to say how many glitches it has now because I mean they're kind of past the line where what are they gonna do? Take 5 months and not release anything?
Yes.
I mean, people. I mean, we may like it and appreciate that, but also the average fan who's playing it is not going to like that at all. It's just going to look even worse.
I don't know.
It honestly will.
No one's going to be playing. The average fan doesn't care.
Yeah. You know, they're going to be excited for the next project.
We're nerds.
Yeah. I think we're, like some people I think really appreciate, okay, no, take all your time. But in 6 months, you want them to come out with another DLC in 6 months? Like for delaying this one, the one that just came out, would you want that delayed another 4 or 5 months?
Why do I want more maps that don't work?
No, I'm saying, but I'm saying most people are going to be like, well, it must, I think it's like they have a huge snowball that's just rolling and crushing them right
this
now.
sums up the whole thing, in my opinion. This is a popular screenshot that on Reddit, someone from the DICE team, was a DICE community manager. Someone asked a question. They said, I hope the Metro glitches have been addressed. And the DICE community manager said, yes, we do have a fix for it that's slotted for a future patch. I'm not sure which one exactly at the moment, but we'll share that as soon as we can. And the first comment underneath it is someone saying, so once again, you guys are releasing something that you already know is broken. Is that correct? No reply. But that's like they know. I don't know. I just don't understand. It's like they're really trying to drive this series into the ground, because even though we're nerds and we care more than most people, I guarantee you Battlefield 5 is not going to launch that well at the rate they're going. Like, unless major things change and quickly. Like,
well, it makes me really worried for Star Wars, and after playing Titanfall, all I want now is them to make Star Wars.
Yeah.
We were all so excited to hear that DICE was doing Star Wars like a year ago, but now I'm just worried.
I'm like, dude, if they have so many freaking unlocks, like, oh, just shoot me. I'm gonna be so pissed. I'm like, yeah,
we won't
I bought
be
the
able
game.
to shoot you, Joel. We'll try to shoot you, but we won't be able to.
Yeah,
I'll try to connect into the game.
Will register.
I just think EA just needs to give them time. Quit trying to rush it out and beat Call of Duty. give them time to make the game. Because
Yeah.
that's how you make a good game. You get time. You know what happened with say The Last of Us that got delayed 1.5 years. But
And
it turned out
it
great.
won like every Game of the Year award.
Exactly.
Grand Theft Auto 5 got delayed by about 6 months, and it came out great too. And granted, Grand Theft Auto is Grand Theft Auto, so they pretty much get to do whatever they want. But come on, EA money. I mean, Battlefield's a huge franchise. They could hold it if they really wanted to. It's not like they have no choice but to keep pumping DLC out.
Well, I hope they learn
You
their
guys
lesson from
know
this
that the Havana rumors, I assume.
The Havana rumors? I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Oh, you don't know the Havana rumors? Apparently, Visceral Games, who made Dead Space, are working on a Battlefield game.
Oh, yeah, I did hear about that, but
I had not heard that.
Yeah, apparently they're working on a police-themed Battlefield game, so one assumes highly trained SWAT teams or some shit like that. And
I
the
don't
code
really-
name is reputedly Havana.
I don't want a Battlefield game that's about... I'm trying to think of police on a battlefield.
Counter-Strike.
Copplefield.
Yeah, I can't think of any
Guns and
situation.
magic.
The jokes are just writing themselves. People already complain about the militarization of the police, but that's like doing it for them.
Dude, it's
Yeah.
gonna be like New York City and like helicopters everywhere, and it's just gonna be
Battlefield,
Godzilla comes
small suburban community DLC.
Like gangbangers are OP. Please nerf.
Yeah, I don't
I don't
think
know
Battlefield's the
about
right
that.
franchise for that. Games like All Points Bulletin had great potential where it was like a cops versus robbers like MMO style FPS. but
APB sucked.
I enjoyed
Oh yeah,
the
well,
concept.
it was terrible, but the idea was
Yeah.
funny.
The idea was funny, but
The game itself was broken, but I played it for probably 40 hours just because the concept was
40
so awesome.
hours.
I was in the
That's
beta.
a long time to realize a game is shit.
Wait, you played 40 hours of the beta?
Yeah, I was determined it was going to get better. I was determined it was going to get better.
Dave, that's not just testing out a game. That's like, oh, I like it a lot, and I
I
played my
loved the
fill.
concept. I really
Dude,
did. I mean,
a
plus
Zelda game is 40 hours. I love that game. So you can't 40 hours. Jeez,
It let me
I'm
drive
just
a police
testing the
car.
waters.
It let me drive a police car and run criminals down. It made me
Dave,
happy for a while.
I played that game for like 3 hours, and that was it. I only made it 3 hours because I thought I might be unlocking something, but I wasn't sure.
Oh, the unlocks
And then
are
at the end of it, it turns out I wasn't, so I quit.
I've also
Anyway.
played what must be 70 or 80 hours of the LCPD first response mod for GTA
Now that's
4.
different. That's a lot of fun. I enjoy that.
There needs to be a good cops and robbers game, but I don't think Battlefield's where it's going to be.
I'm really excited to have the LCPD mod for Grand Theft Auto 5 when it comes out for the PC because the GTA 5 cops are so aggressive. That's going to be so great. You just
yeah.
know
Dude,
it.
that we're gonna have such a grand time. Oh my goodness. So excited.
Yeah, Second Assault. Okay, so Second Assault came out. I guess the
I'll
overwhelming
go back to
consensus
Second
is it
Assault here for a
sucks.
second. Well,
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have more thoughts? No, go ahead. Go right
yeah,
ahead.
I had a few thoughts. I think that I'm just going to ignore Metro. Like, Metro is just not part of this DLC, in my opinion. Whatever, it's gone.
Okay, sure.
Gulf of Oman, Caspian Border, and Operation Firestorm. In my opinion, the Battlefield 4 versions of those maps are noticeably superior to their Battlefield 3 versions. I love basically all the additions. The underground sections on Caspian, the Levolution's neat, I guess, but I don't really care about that. the tank debris and stuff like that. It's neat. They're not like a whole world above the Battlefield 3 versions, but I think there have been enough improvements to be like, okay, this is pretty cool. It's not $15 cool by any means, but they are very, very enjoyable. At the same time, a lot of the Battlefield 4 mechanics do not fit well into the maps at all. I never thought I would see a mobile AA locking down the entire flight zone on Caspian Border in Operation Firestorm. I remember from Battlefield 3, like, it was so cool to be a jet pilot with the rocket pods, and you would get into duels with the mobile AA where like you make a rocket pass at him and he's like firing missiles like lock onto you and making his gun run, and you're kind of like nose to nose, both coming at each other. You both barely survive, you peel off, he hops out and repairs. It can go on for like 10 minutes where there's like a balance there, a back and forth, and eventually like he misses like a repair, or you like come in too low on your attack run and one of you gets taken out. But now in Battlefield 4, the mobile AA Like you can't even like look at it. Like if you look at it, all you see are active radar missiles coming at you. There's no like back and forth. There's no competitive edge with the mobile AA. It's just there. And like Skinner was saying, Metro, the map that doesn't exist in my opinion. All the grenades, the
we
LVG
don't go to
launcher.
Metro.
Yeah, we don't go to Metro. But just as far as the environment art, graphically the maps look great. I like the changes to the gameplay for the most part. I think most of the changes were good. It's just not a $15 DLC. It shouldn't be part of premium.
Do you not think that, and I don't mean this like in an accusatory sense, like do you not think, I mean as a question, do you not find that Battlefield 3 or Metro in Battlefield 4 looks worse than Battlefield 3?
It does look, it looks weird. I can't pinpoint what it is.
It doesn't look as crisp.
Yeah.
And as nice graphically. Like people can poop all over like close quarters if they want to, but graphically that goddamn DLC looked amazing.
Yeah, it did. It
was
did.
so sharp and like tight. Everything about it was just like so smooth. It was beautiful. And like Metro had that vibe as well too. It had this real sharpness and crispness to its design.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
it was
now
that
in
blue
Battlefield
tint.
4, it just looks kind of dirty.
Everything is
And
kind of
I don't mean like I don't mean the walls look dirty. I mean it's like my screen looks dirty while I'm playing it, and I can't quite figure out what it is. But Caspian looks amazing, I have to say.
The one neat thing about the new Metro was that the dynamic lights, the synced lights are working. So there's some cool lighting effects, but that's all I really noticed graphically as like an improvement from BF3.
So, not that this will really matter because it won't make a difference, but what do you think they ought to do now?
Man, I don't know.
Give me back my money. I don't know what they can do. I'm under the impression that whatever the problem is with the core mechanics can't be fixed. I'm reasonably certain that DICE are competent, like to a degree, and that if it was a fixable issue, it would be fixed by now, surely, like nearly 5 months after release. Mm-hmm. So all they can do is stay plugging away and hope it doesn't damage the goodwill of the community too much for whatever their next game is.
More.
I don't know. I think
know
they're
how they
at
can
that
fix
point,
it.
though. How can they fix it, Joel?
I'm going to guess that you guys all agree. This is exactly how they'll fix it. At least their PR. Out of nowhere, next month, release raptors, dinosaurs. Just Left 4 Dead style. Just, holy crap, here you go. This is for free, guys.
That would buy them some goodwill,
Sorry for all the
probably.
patches and the crappiness. Bam. I think right there, that would solve their problems.
But then
I
the
agree.
dinosaurs
Forget
are
about it for a
invisible.
while.
Yeah, dinosaurs won't be
explode.
balanced.
With screen shake.
Yeah.
But, I mean, at this point, I think they've done the damage already. Like, there aren't many, even Dave, who has been one of the most staunch Battlefield defenders I've seen.
I am so disappointed.
Dave
awful.
has even crossed over at this point. Like, when you start trying to defend it when we're playing, like, you usually give up, like, midway through, like, I can't. Like, because for a while you're like, no, but, I updated my drivers and I checked this and it's not so bad and they're patching that, and now you're just like, yeah, this is this isn't working correctly.
I think technical issues for me, I always viewed those as either solvable by the end user or in patches, but I've really come to realize that there are some very serious design flaws with the game. And the fact that we don't have any of the balance patches yet, I'm worried about the future of the game at this point. Seriously worried.
Probably their biggest problem is the tick rate, and the tick rate can't be upped without scaling down the amount of things they're trying to pack into the game. You just can't do that much in an online shooter. I think that's the problem, is they're pushing it too hard. I think Battlefield 3 was like 5% past the limit of what that engine could handle, realistically, and this is like 25% past it. I mean, a 10...
built faster.
It's what, 10 ticks a second, right?
Yeah.
That's just not enough. I mean, after playing Titanfall, it just made me feel like, holy crap, oh, this is what things should feel like. That's right, I've forgotten what shooters feel like.
Yeah.
Like, go back and play an old Battlefield game. The hit registration is terrible, but other than that, like, it worked. I mean, like, they don't try to overpower the engine, and it's a rare game that can actually overpower the engine it's built on, but I think Battlefield 4 is that game. So in that case, I guess it's an impressive technical achievement. They actually pushed it harder than the Frostbite engine could handle, but that's not good for us.
Yeah.
Maybe Mantle will bring
sad.
it back.
We're just all staring down at our desk for a little while.
I have hope for Mantle though. I'm really hoping Mantle brings the performance back up.
I don't think Mantle's really going to be supported. I think it's going to fizzle.
Well, I've tried it. There are some bugs to it where there's like CPU spikes people are having, but other than that, when it runs smooth, I do see a frame increase from DX11. And I also pre-ordered Thief, because that's going to be supporting it too. I want to try it out on there and compare them both.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. That just sums up Battlefield for me. I don't know. I don't know what.
Did you see the 50% off today
on Battlefield 4? Yeah.
Daniel
just
bought
makes me
it today.
cry.
Why? Why would he do that after all the complaining we do?
He's been wanting to try it, but I convinced him not to buy premium.
Try it. Just come over to your house and play it. He can see what fast internet feels like too.
Yeah, just look. Just tell him, look in my eyes, and where you see sadness, that's Battlefield 4. Don't buy it.
Where you see sadness.
Tell him Battlefield 4 is like DayZ for him, where he just disconnects and has lag all the time. But imagine you're stuck in a group with like 60 other people with jets.
And DMRs. I feel sorry for Daniel, though, because he missed out on all the awesomeness that was Battlefield 3 because he didn't have the internet to actually play it. So he was just wanting a piece of Battlefield at this point, just to try it out.
Why didn't he get Battlefield 3 then? People still
Or
play
Bad
it.
Company 2.
Dave, why didn't you tell him to not get that and just get Titanfall when it comes out?
Yeah.
You should have done
It's
that.
got robots.
He could still do it.
And monsters, actually.
Well, plus I told him that Origin has that 30-day return policy, so if he hates it, he can always just
that's
send
true.
it back. Yeah.
It's 30 days now?
He can only. It's 8 hours after you start playing.
Okay. That makes sense.
that'll probably be enough. I mean, if he makes it 8 hours in the Battlefield 4
I haven't gotten past 7 hours, I believe.
on the
Yeah,
PC.
you have.
Yeah, let's see what I have. It's going to be really close then. Really close.
You'll be surprised.
Why do you look that up
play
in
with me a few times?
You can look it up in Origin,
Oh, I know.
right?
Yeah, I'm looking right now.
Let me look. I'm curious how much Battlefield 4 I've played.
It's so little.
It's funny. It's gotten to the point now where every time I talk about Battlefield 4, I get a little sadder because it ends up coming up on my own podcast or on other podcasts that I'm on. So I've talked about it quite a bit, and I really feel like I'm kicking it in the ribs at this point. It's like I've said all I need to say, and everything else I say is just salt in the wound at this point.
14 hours. I have 14
I
hours.
have 86.
I have 31.
223.
Oh my gosh, Dave.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I've got around to that as well. I've really been trying, desperately been trying to enjoy the game. But
Because there have been fun moments, less as time has gone on, but
I told
Yeah,
Dave I've got 32 hours in Animal Crossing on the 3DS.
that's
Well,
time
just
well
not a
invested.
DayZ mod.
I said I can get into the servers much easier on that game.
I think this is wrong, because apparently I only have 73 hours on Battlefield 3. That's not true.
What makes me sad is I'm starting to talk about Battlefield 4 in the way this for me is Modern Warfare 2.
So sad.
This is my Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare was the biggest game of the entire year for me. I played it. That was my game that I played for the next year was Modern Warfare. I skipped World at War because I was still enjoying Modern Warfare so much. When Modern Warfare 2 came out, my roommate and I got all our homework. We got way ahead the week it came out. We actually skipped a class, and we never skipped classes in college. And we went to GameStop, picked it up, cleared our entire evening in Modern Warfare. Our evening was going to be Modern Warfare 2. We were so stinking excited. And then an hour and a half in, I started to get that little sinking feeling wait a second. This isn't as special as I was led to believe. And I ended up playing 2 hours of multiplayer, and that was it. And now Call of Duty for me is kind of oh. And I think of it as that game I used to love so much, but now It hurts every time I think about it. I never thought Battlefield would get to that point. If Battlefield does that, the only thing could be worse is if Half-Life 3 comes out and is free to play with microtransactions.
Don't you dare even say that. If it has like freaking unlocks and perks and crap and
shortcut pack.
Yeah.
The ending is DLC.
That's the ending is.
If you would like to play the last hour of playtime, please go to Steam.
My eyes are getting blurry all of a sudden with the
Suicide!
Oh, God.
I've got two final examples of Battlefield 4 just from tonight for you guys. I played it like 10 minutes before the podcast, testing out that virtual memory fix for my page file. I think a big part of the problem is, with all the balance problems, is that a lot of the community are just playing like douchebags. They're taking advantage of every OP thing in the game. You know, you see people in the mobile AA doing like 80 and 0 and stuff like that. I spawned onto Caspian border, spawned in the helicopter, and was instantly, as my screen faded in, sniped from the Russian deployment in the helicopter cockpit. So I then spawned back into the helicopter and did that like seat switch trick where you go to the secondary gunner, then back to the pilot, and the rotors are now at like full speed for an instant takeoff. He still hits me in the chest, but I take off, get over to where he's camping, and I get shot down by an SRAW. There are 6 guys there, engineers, support, and snipers, camping the US base from the Russian deployment together, and just behind them, rolling out of the base, is the mobile AA to come back them up, to keep them covered. And so
Funny.
It's like a satire. Yeah, it's like a multiplayer shooter satire.
How does 7 people feel good about playing like that? You know? How is that?
Points, man.
Dave,
Points.
the thing is, I'm sure it's a blast of fun. I bet I was in there and was ripping up, and I'd probably enjoy myself. I wouldn't say it's more the problem that the people have to go, oh, hey, I got to hold myself back from really owning this game. No, it needs to be the developers going, we really need to tone this thing down.
You describe owning the game as shooting into the other player's deployment zone as they spawn in?
Dim points, Dave.
I'm just saying,
I'm
saying that can be fun, but I'm saying there comes a time where the game is like, hey, this is more broken that they need a fix rather than
let's make it worse by playing like
some people play like Seahawks, some people play like the Broncos.
So some people play and some people don't.
Sometimes you just gotta camp the spawn.
The development of the game sometimes causes that more than just people doing it, because it's like,
oh, definitely, yeah.
It'd be also like the same thing where, David, sometimes you get pissed at some people who own in certain helicopters or jets or whatever, and it's like, oh, that's not really fair. I'm like, well, you know that. I mean, the game has it. It's since you're
because
owning
that person is normally Dave.
Huh? No, I'm saying people like people like Dave. Dave has gotten pissed at other jet people that are really good. And you're like, oh, I don't want to get in and you move to another server because that person's owning. So it's like, no, sometimes they either need to adjust the weapons, and that can ruin the game for self. But I think it's not always on fault.
That's a really bad example, Joel. I know when a jet pilot is better than me, and I just go and I do something else on the map. I don't leave the server. I go to like ground pounding or something. That's fine. No. That's a difference though, Joel, because if you have practiced to the point where you have actually learned how to use the vehicle and you've gotten really good at it, then that's great. That's not taking advantage of a game mechanic issue or a balancing issue. That's actually getting better at a mechanic. That's okay.
Taking advantage is when you're like, hey, if you shoot and then you switch to the other gun and shoot, you can magically shoot like immediately and it kills people almost immediately. That's cheap.
Yeah. No, this is what I mean. When I was playing Battlefield 3, and this is when the mortars were kind of nuts or something. I didn't know about it personally, right? So here I'm going, oh, I unlocked mortar. I start playing it. Everyone's swearing at me going, dude, stop with the mortars. I'm like, it's part of the game. I bought this game. I saw
a video today of mortars the first week of Battlefield 3. It's just a video at Metro, and there's like 8 guys in the spawn, and you just look, and it's just fire streaking into the sky from everywhere, and it's the same exact thing on the other team. It just looks like chemtrails everywhere.
I'm just saying those things piss me off when people go, hey, you're not playing fair. I'm like, what do you mean? I unlocked this. It's in the game. I'm sorry, I am playing fair.
And that's on DICE. I'm just saying that there are players who, unlike you, know about the glitch. Sometimes they even seek out how to do it, and then that is their play style.
I don't appreciate that. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying condoning people. Like, I play Halo 4, but I can't really think of a glitch that people would do in that game. But I know in Halo 3 that happened a lot, where they would just kind of get in certain spots, and then you're like, well, it's not fun to play with that guy because he's, they're not really trying to play the game. They're not being good competitive sports and stuff. And they're just like,
one final end to that story. So after the engineer took out our helicopter trying to take out the spawn campers, I'm like, oh look, one of my squad mates has actually managed to like get a jeep up behind them and is like sneaking up to attack them from behind. So I spawned in on him, and example 1 was douchebag players taking advantage of broken balancing mechanics. Here's the technical issues. Wasn't a patch a while ago supposed to fix the issue where you spawn in with no gun?
Yep.
Right? That was like 2 different patch notes, I think. We fixed that. So I spawn in on my squad mate who's flanked around the people camping our deployment. I spawn in, he's attacking 3 people, he gets taken out, and I have no gun. And the 2 guys who just killed him are like reloading. I'm just like side strafing with no gun in my hand, like come on. And I start to pull it up, and I get destroyed. It was like a second and a half of just no rifle, and they're just reloading, and I'm just strafing back and forth awkwardly.
You're gonna die.
Thanks,
Now,
Battlefield.
I just got a message on Twitter from our other guest. He's going to be here in less than 10 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to wind down the live portion of the podcast and transition into the gloves off topic discussion portion, because we've been really restrained in talking about Battlefield 4. But before we go, a while ago in the comments, Debbie asked if we could all tell our corniest joke, and that's just so unrelated to everything else in the podcast that we're just going to go ahead and do it. So the worst joke I know is, what's brown and sticky?
The grin on your face right now is terrifying.
Honey?
Come
I
on,
want to
Dave.
answer it,
Dave,
but I don't want to ruin your joke.
What's brown and sticky?
Maple syrup?
A stick. I've got another one.
beautiful.
Dave, I've already told you this one, but Joel, I haven't told you. Okay, Joel, I have an awesome knock-knock joke, okay? But you have to start it.
Okay. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I actually fell for that. You monster.
All right, that's the corniest joke I know. Does anyone else have one they'd like to contribute?
I've got
horrible
one.
at jokes.
I've got one.
All right.
How does Snoop Dogg know everything? He's been snooping around.
This is awful.
I know a lot of terrible jokes. Why is an elephant large, grey, and hairy?
A riddle.
I don't know. Why is it?
Because if it was small, white, and hairless, it would be an aspirin. The undeniable logic of that joke. All right, I might be anti-elephant actually. How do you shoot a pink elephant?
With a pink rifle.
With a pink elephant gun. How do you shoot a blue elephant?
With a blue
I feel
elephant
like this
gun?
is a trap.
With a blue elephant gun.
Oh, I actually fucked up my own joke.
Would you like to tell us what it should have been?
It should have been a blue elephant first, and then you make the pink elephant hold its nose and shoot it with the blue elephant gun.
Wow. All right, Debbie, I hope you're happy for that. All right, everyone, keep recording. Make sure everyone else who's listening, make sure you go check us out on iTunes or come back to the YouTube channel in like a day and be able to watch the rest of this. But we are now going to go offline. So thanks, everybody. And
I feel like we need to cue
on
the
Real
sax
Thing.
music. We should bring it down now, guys.
Also coming up in part 2 is my comment of the week, which is returning.
I already hit the stop button, but we will do your comment of the week. Actually, Dave,
hate, Jeremiah.
let's just waste a little bit of time before our guest gets here, just because they're coming to talk about Titanfall.
Recording.
Yeah, just keep recording. No one stop any recordings or anything. But yeah, let's do the comment of the week. This is a section where we highlight the impeccable grammar and thoughtful thoughts that people leave on our YouTube videos on a weekly basis. So, Dave, you have a couple really, really awesome comments.
Seeing we're just coming off of the discussion on Second Assault. This is apparently regarding the mobile AA balance issues that we've been talking about. Someone shared this comment on my Second Assault video. Here's the comment. AA on Caspian Conquest Large does TMAP not able to flying. Which basically sums up air units in Battlefield 4 right there.
Does Team Map not able to what?
Does TMAP not able to flying? That's Battlefield 4 air vehicles right there.
I have a real good one. Hold on, let me find it. A couple guys got into an argument on one of my videos today, a video that's like 2 years old. Okay, this is a video where I was helping someone who was having a problem with some lag while they were gaming. It turns out it was from a bad internet connection. For
Gaming.
For whatever reason, this video has legs. I don't know why, but it's still getting hundreds of views every month. So I don't know. But this guy
your
just...
mom again. Always
this guy
keeps
just
getting views.
left a comment. All right, I did not hate on gaming. Like, this is purely a technical help video. Like, that's all it's for. And he says, yeah, tell people that love gaming by saying how stupid it is. Great channel idea. Pass. That's not even remotely related to what the video was about. And then someone commented, not all gamers are PC gamers, idiot. And he commented back, gamers like games no matter what. Nobody could care less about PC hate. But he didn't say care less, he said careless. And then the other person replied, exactly, well, same thing is applied to consoles. People could care less about PC master race. And then, yeah, that's why there's millions of PC gamers. You make no sense.
I don't understand who's arguing for what here. I'm so confused.
I don't understand what we're upset about, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, and regarding the original comment, Jeremiah, obviously discussing any kind of PC problem solving acknowledges that PCs can have issues, and that's not allowed.
Yeah.
So, Dave,
race.
what was the one someone left on your DayZ video? You turned it into a wallpaper, which I kept.
Did you keep that?
I kept it.
I turned it into a motivational poster just because it sounded so inspirational. I posted a very brief DayZ firefight to r/DayZ, and actually, this is the best any video has ever done, like ratio-wise on Reddit. It's like 107 likes and 0 dislikes, which is unheard of for posting things to Reddit. It's actually kind of weirded me out. One of the first comments I got was, and I'll just roll with it here. You had position on the enemy and still got unconscious, ... Pretty bad and a shame to upload something that normal, ... Better get more DayZ skill, then think about uploading videos to this sub.
You mean the video where people ambushed you, you retreated, fortified your position, and you killed both of them? That video?
They ambushed us twice, technically, probably around 60 rounds fired. I ate a few bullets, kept on going, we killed them.
Yeah. It's very normal, Dave. That happens all the time.
It's very
literally
stuff.
Every time I play DayZ, I'm getting ambushed by people and fighting them off.
Yeah.
That guy who left the comment probably uploaded a Imgur picture to DayZ of his head in his chest. So get owned.
Well, I'm willing to accept the fact that not everyone is a native English speaker.
Yeah.
But, I speak some Spanish. But I never go on to Spanish videos and try to yo tambien me gusta pantalones burrito.
Okay. That just says you need to make a whole video just like that, speaking that way the whole time now. Review a game like that. I will watch it. I'll pay you for that.
What?
I'll watch it and I'll turn on
your
Google
Google Translate. You want me to try to off the cuff do a video review in Spanish?
100%. Yes, I'll pay you for that.
That's going to be bad. Most of my Spanish does not apply to video games, believe it or not.
I need a lot of food talk.
There was this Spanish guy that commented on one of my tech reviews. I think I was reviewing the Wii U, or no, the Wii balance board.
Disclaimer, when Joel says tech review, he does not mean tech review. He means
sarcastic review. And so I replied to a video to him, and all in Spanish. I just typed in Google and just had it quickly translate. And this is like 7 years ago. Oh, it's great. The guy's and he just rips me apart. You don't know Spanish, man. You don't just F you on this. It was so funny. I gotta find it for you guys. It's amazing.
Have you seen that channel that does dramatic reenactments of arguments from the YouTube comment section?
Yes.
Amazing.
Is it with those two older guys reading it out?
Yeah, it's so good.
Oh.
I'm thinking about trawling around bigger channels and finding gaming related arguments in their comment section and trying to do something on my channel or whatever.
I've thought about that for a while. I was going to start a series called Hate Mail. But sometimes, like, I go through lulls. Sometimes I'm just not getting enough hate mail. And then other times I post a video to Reddit expressing an opinion about Titanfall, and the waves of lava just come flowing down the mountain.
I didn't hear about this. I want to read this.
I put out a video explaining why I did not believe Titanfall was going to be the next big thing. But the overall point of the video was Titanfall is amazing so far, and I'm absolutely loving it.
You got snapped down, I bet.
There's a slight disclaimer of, but I don't think it's like the next coming of shooters. And the downvotes were coming way quicker than like the video's length. So I know it wasn't people who were actually... I think everyone... I should have waited after the Titanfall... what do you want to call it? Official Titanfall week. I mean, that's basically been r/gaming.
Yeah.
It's not quite as bad as when The Last of Us came out. That's probably the most fawning I've ever seen over anything.
Don't even get me started on The Last of Us.
but
an extra year and a half to do one strangle animation? Okay.
But yeah, so anyway, Titanfall, that's our main topic for the night. I guess we ought to get to it at some point. Let me just start out the Titanfall discussion by saying how incredibly happy I am that this game is coming out, and how much fun I'm having, and how it's just salves the pain of Battlefield 4 so far in the beta. This could all go horribly wrong when it releases, but I don't want to do all the Titanfall talking, because I could probably talk for another hour. Actually, right on time, as soon as we're going into Titanfall, welcome K-Mac to the podcast.
Who can't hear us right now, I bet.
Who can't hear us, probably, because he just joined.
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
hello.
How's it going?
Good.
Your video's not... Oh, your video is working now. We are just starting to talk about Titanfall.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so actually...
all misty-eyed over here already.
Yes, I'm getting all excited. K-Mac, if it's not throwing you right into it too quickly, I know you have some very strong thoughts about Titanfall, so do you want to kick us off?
I love the game. Actually, I enjoyed just about everything there is about it. It's what I've been looking for. It's what I've been searching for. I couldn't play Call of Duty anymore. But Battlefield kind of tided me over for a little bit. But this is what I've been needing, what I've been searching for.
it is scratching. It's scratching that Unreal Tournament and Call of Duty itch for me simultaneously.
That's a good way to put it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, who here played Unreal Tournament? Any of them?
I played.
Briefly. Yeah.
Briefly.
Okay. If you've never played Unreal Tournament, I don't know if those games really hold up that much, but you ought to go back and at least try them. They are the most frenetic, fast-paced multiplayer shooters I've ever played. And it's all about knowing the map and maintaining map control. I think, for me, Titanfall is like the first game I've played in a long time where I wasn't checking the scoreboard. I wasn't worried about unlocks. I wasn't thinking about any of that. I was just thinking about like movement, map control, and having a blast. Like that's been Titanfall for me for the entire beta.
Dude, for me, it was, I mean, I love Halo. I'm a huge fan of Halo. And playing Halo 4, I played a ton with my friends. And for me, I've been desperate for you guys to finally have some game on PC that we could play that, for me, kind of feels a little bit like Halo and Call of Duty, so that I feel I'm a little bit better at, and just to be able to have that itch. And, I'm so excited for Titanfall. It's a lot better than I totally thought it was going to be, because it looked kind of cool at the E3 demo, but honestly, I was kind of chatting with my wife during that segment, and I didn't even really watch the rest because I was like, whatever it is. And then when I saw like a little bit more of the gameplay clips, I was like, holy crap, this looks really freaking good.
So, what is it about Titanfall that makes it so good? I'm curious to hear what you guys' opinions are, because there are a lot of different opinions going around about what makes Titanfall a great game or not a great game. So, what do you guys think it is?
I think it might have too much of a Modern Warfare 1 feel to it, with the way it's set up.
Can you have too much of a Modern Warfare 1 feel?
It's not too much, but it's like how they have the challenges set up and everything. That just, the moment I saw that, I was like, oh, Call of Duty 4. But it's
true,
not bad. I love the challenges, how they had them set up on Call of Duty 4. So I'm glad that they brought them back.
For me, I think it's that the game is so fluid. Like, the movement is fluid, the shooting is fluid, pretty much everything works.
You sound like the CM for Red Alert. Fast, fluid, fun.
I really, like, I feel like I'm very much, like, I'm losing all semblance of objectivity when it comes to this game. But, I waltzed past that with Battlefield 4 a long time ago in the other direction. So, I don't know, just like, it feels like I don't think it's going to reinvent the FPS genre, but it feels like these guys sat down and were just sick and tired of all that's been happening with first-person shooters in the past couple years and just decided to go way off base and just try something else. And it worked.
Yeah, for me, it was immediately picking up the game and feeling like you can be decent at it. Like,
yeah.
Now, the thing with Battlefield that I guess annoys me is that if you go out, if you don't die right away, it's on Conquest, right? And you kind of sneaking around or whatever, and then you get killed. You're like, and then it takes like, I don't know, 6 seconds to respawn, whatever. This is kind of like you're right into the action. Yeah, you may die, but you know you're gonna respawn in like 2 seconds. So it's like, you're back in the action again. It's like, whatever. You don't feel that pissed about dying. And then again about Halo is I think it's finally getting some sort of game that has that like fluid feel to it. Like Halo is just nice when you can make a jump and you hit a shot, climb on a ledge, do whatever, you swap a gun, pull out a shotgun, blow some guy away, go up the climb on the side of the wall, jump again, get onto Titan. It feels like it's something, a game like Halo is finally coming to the PC, which I've been so excited about. And then it was play tested. I was reading the development of it, and they had a huge amount of play testing. Like that was just
it feels like it
every other day. It was like play test. And I'm like, they need that.
It did not feel like a beta where they were hoping it was going to work the whole time. Like it seemed like they were pretty confident right out of the gate that it was going to work. That was certainly my experience. Did any of you guys have stability issues?
No.
No, not at all.
I had a lot of stutter issues, but other than that, it worked good.
I had two main issues. I had some VSync problems where I would get lots of, horizontal stutter with my mouse and with VSync turned on. Lots of weirdness there, but only occasionally. It was bad when it happened, but occasional. And then, the Source engine still does not like alt-tabbing in 2014.
Nope.
Oh my gosh, I crashed the desktop so many times trying to tab out. I would like load the game and something else would try to come to the front, and I'd have to Control-Alt-Delete to get out of the game.
I just played it the whole time in a borderless full screen window. It actually worked really well. I'm probably going to play the whole game like that. Yeah, I love when games support that because it really is like playing it full screen but without any of the issues.
Source needs that badly.
I did it with Black Ops 2, but I had performance issues running in full screen windowed, so I didn't do it.
Huh.
I told Dave, it's funny, I asked him this question, and I'm laughing now, I said, with the beta, I was like, now, are we playing an old version of the game? Because it comes out, I think, in 2.5
March 11th.
Yeah. And I was like, are we getting like a 6-month-old version? So, because I'm like, it comes out really soon, And Dave was like, no, this should be feature complete. It's just testing, multiplayer type stuff. And I was kind of blown away because I guess I'm so used to crappy betas out there all the time. Even Battlefield 3, it wasn't amazing, and Battlefield 4 is crap. I was like, I thought beta was still a long ways away from being the final product. So I was like, are we?
No, beta is supposed to be feature complete, and you're just bug testing.
Yeah, so I was really amazed. I was like, dude, this thing is just it runs so well.
Yeah.
Well, it's running on Source. It goes to show you don't have to come out with a new crazy engine. Like Source is, I guess, one of the most tried and true. That and Unreal Engine 3. Those are the two workhorses, I think, of the gaming industry. Yeah. And it's it doesn't even feel like a Source engine game as far as the look and everything. I think it looks significantly different. Yeah. But it definitely feels like a Source engine game that it runs super smooth all the time.
It's got weight as well, which Source sometimes lacks. Like Counter-Strike's an amazing game, but
oh yeah, there's no weight to the characters
there's no weight in there, whereas this has serious 24-foot tall robot weight going on, which is nice, because if you felt like a waif when you're in the Titan, it would kill the game.
Yeah,
straight away.
Well, no, something I'm curious about with the shooting and the weight and everything. K-Mac, I read that for the Xbox One, they put $100 million into the new controller. It's some obscene amount of money into developing the new controller, and it's supposed to be amazing for shooters. Is this the first-person shooter you've put a lot of time into on the Xbox One?
No, I played Call of Duty. Obviously, I played Battlefield. But this feels so much better. I mean, it feels like this game, the controller was almost designed for this game. The wall running is seamless. The hit detection in this game, I cannot believe how great it is.
It's because it's hit scan. That's probably why.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just works. That pretty much sums up the entire game.
I just love how intuitive it was. It was like I jumped in my first game ever, and I was already on top of buildings, jumping on crap, and next wall jump, and it didn't take me 2 seconds to pick it up. It was so intuitive, and I was amazed by it.
You do know that the developers behind Titanfall actually got Microsoft to update the dead zone on the controller because they said it wasn't responsive enough for their gameplay.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
That's
it was
cool.
just. I think
awesome.
either it hasn't released yet, or it's going to be released before the game comes out.
Yeah,
That's
I read about that
interesting.
too. I thought it was actually specific to the game, but that's cool. That's pretty awesome.
Now, something I'm wondering, Titanfall appears to be capped at 60 FPS, hard capped, even if you can perform higher, so we don't really know how well the game could run. But I'm guessing because it's Source Engine, probably this is one of the first shooters where the console and the PC experience is going to be identical, I would imagine. Like the graphics and everything, the Xbox One should be able to push Source no problem.
Xbox One is
because-
going to do 900.
Oh, it's not. They're not doing 1080.
No, 900.
Yeah.
Well, that's better than 720.
It was like 728.
It was
or something
724 on the beta. Yeah.
Something
Okay.
weird.
I wonder
Well-
if what was it, Ghosts on PS4?
Ghosts,
they got
yeah, that's
updated to
running
1080p.
720p.
It was running 720p, but then they updated to 1080p
Yeah.
via patch. I wonder if they'll do something like that. Who knows?
But yeah, I mean, it runs so well. Now, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of opinions about balance. And Scanner, you put out a video earlier today, which I really liked a couple of the points you made, and I really agreed with them. Chiefly the Smart Pistol. When it first came out, I kind of bandwagoned along with everyone else, like, this is insane. This pistol's too good to be true. They need to get this thing out of the game. But the more I've played with it, I really don't, I feel like it's actually kind of cool, and I don't think it's overpowered. I don't really think anything in Titanfall is overpowered as of right now.
The reason people thought that something, like anything in the game, was overpowered was because they didn't know how to play Titanfall yet, because it was the first time they played it. The first thing I did in Titanfall was jump at a wall because I have like a serious Unreal and Quake history. So like trying to move this way instead of just straight forward is something that I want to do. So it never really hit me that these things were overpowered because while you were trying to shoot me, while you like stood still, I was trying to shoot back at you while I did some mad ass jump off a wall. And I wasn't getting locked on by the auto pistols after about 20 minutes of game time because you figure out how long it takes to track. And then what you should be doing is when you're crossing a street, if you have to cross on the ground, you're thinking, I've been exposed for 3 seconds, break cover by ducking behind a pillar.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You just got to play a little smarter, and everything's balanced with the movement as the anchor. The fact that you can move as fast and as freely within that game means you have to have reduced recoil compared to other games, or else nobody would ever die.
Yeah,
Because
it's already almost impossible to hit people while they're flying through the air.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's doable, but it's hard to do. So there's no way they could do it with large recoil. But like even the Titans, you'd think pretty much any other multiplayer shooter, they would have to really reduce the power of the Titans. But the Titans feel genuinely powerful. And still, when people have them, I can be playing on a team, and the other team has 4 Titans, and we have 1 or 2. So we're definitely at a Titan deficit, and it doesn't feel like we're getting absolutely wrecked.
Yeah. No.
Like it feels like as a person, you guys can gang up and take the Titans out, and it's doable.
Yeah, what was that one? We played one where we came back, we kind of stuck together with the 2 Titans. There was 3. We broke one off, killed that one guy, and then it was just 2 to deal with. That was a lot of fun. It feels very, very competitive.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, I think they put a lot of work into balancing it. But like Scanner said, if you're having issues with the balancing, it's probably because you're trying to play it like Call of Duty or play it like Battlefield or something. Like things with the Smart Pistol, if someone's locking onto you, you've stayed in one place too long. If pretty much any weapon, if people are killing you over and over with it, it's because you're playing the game wrong. You should constantly be moving. Like you should never be sitting still in that game.
Yeah,
even if you want to sit on rooftops and shoot people, you need to shoot, move, shoot, move, shoot, move. Like
The weapon
that's
balance is a rock, paper, scissors scenario, which is what you need. A shotgun is going to mince your face up close, and that's fine. A one-shot kill from a shotgun up close, it's a shotgun. Deal with it. If I've got a carbine, I'm going to mince you up at a distance. And if you've got a smart pistol, you're dead because you're skillless for the most part. That's just the way it works. So it works really good in that sense of, Like, I should not be able to run around with a shotgun and drop you from across the map.
No.
And like the carbine or carbine, however people want to pronounce it, its hip fire is miserable. So it loses out to the SMG's hip fire, but it will mince up a SMG from distance, and it just works. You like pick your weapon and then play to the weapon, and you won't have a problem with the balance in the game because it's well
it was
balanced.
one of those games like I wasn't worried about the different weapons and the different attachments and like the 45,000 different combinations of like the perfect angled foregrip or whatever. Like you just grab a gun that works and then start thinking about game strategy. And that's why I like that's really what does it for me is I don't really care what I'm unlocking next. I care about like, ooh, I could do a little bit better on this match.
Yeah, and it's
like I can
even something
improve
about the tag team on that and the unlocks. I was actually still surprised that the I did unlock. I was actually really excited about unlocking it because you get something really cool for your mech. It was like, oh, sweet, I can do the tactical smoke or whatever. Like it was like, oh, I felt awesome like getting that. Where most games I usually don't. I don't really care. Like for Call of Duty, like I don't really play the multiplayer that much because I get sick of so many unlocks. I don't know the best combination and everything. For this one, it was just like, oh, whatever. That's kind of bonus. You still feel like I don't need to have any of those extra scopes to do well. You can still handle your own without whatever you have. And I was playing it all with my controller on my PC, so that's how I play it.
A couple of my friends think
Titanfall.
Titanfall
You guys
is
think
too
about
OP.
the burn cards?
I think it's a cool idea. It's almost like getting a mini kill streak. That's the way I thought of it. Like it's a little. It's not necessarily an advantage all the time. It's just something you can introduce to change the game up real quick. I think we get too many burn cards. Like I had to try to use 3 every match because they were stacking up real quick.
Yeah,
so I don't
found
know if they're going to
myself
scale that
deleting-
down.
I had multiples. Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting
found
like
myself
3 or 4
deleting
of
the
some more
multiples
common
all the
ones.
time.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think they might want to reduce the number of burn cards they hand out because it feels a little less special.
Yeah, it's because I mean it's really just more of changing your weapon out. You're not like getting a better weapon or a better perk really that much better. It's just like you're kind of going, oh, I don't have to die to get a new weapon. I'd almost be fine with them actually completely getting rid of it if they wanted to. Like I wouldn't.
No, I think it's a cool idea. I'm okay with them keeping it. I do think you get a little bit too many. Like it kind of cuts down. I think if you got like maybe 1 or 2 burn cards a match or something, that would be a lot better. So that you don't even have to use burn cards every. It feels like you need to be using them or you're throwing points away.
Yeah, because the matches aren't very long. I was like, I forget that I have them by the time the match is over.
Yeah.
I like that the matches aren't long. I don't think I've played a match that was over 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I like the
No,
quick
me neither.
resolution of it as well.
Yeah, because if you're in a bad team, you can just get it over with and move on pretty quickly.
Yeah, move on to the next round. I love that rematch card so much.
Oh yeah,
I love that thing where some guy drops you and then you come in behind him and kick him in the back of the skull.
I've actually
Oh,
disappointed a
done that
couple
yet.
people with that. It tells you on the screen when they used the rematch. So it said that the person did the rematch. I turned around, he appeared, and I just lit him up. So
Oh, I didn't know. I never saw that it says that.
yeah,
That's
it
kind of
tells
cool.
you
I'll have to
like it
watch out
shows
for
in red, like a little bit higher in the middle of the screen, and it says so and so's rematching.
that. So, what do you guys think about the Titans themselves?
Love them. Have you played the Ogre or the Strider?
Yes, I actually I got burn cards. I used them both on my last Titanfall match. I got a burn card for each of those, and I tried them both out. I wasn't really sure what the main difference with the Ogre was, but the Strider, correct me if I'm wrong, it can just sprint. Like, it can do the jump rocket sprint thing a couple times in a row. That's its main thing.
Yeah,
so
I
they
thought
do
that
them
was
in
cool.
match.
Dude, I love them. And once again, I'm going to say Halo 4 again, but in Halo 4 they have these kind of mech things, and they felt really tight and they were really well made. And so I was like, man, I don't know, they were just awesome. Like they didn't feel like you were just running around as a big soldier. They felt like a good like
Are they called
okay crap.
mantises?
Yeah, that's the name. I forgot it. That's a good. But because I was curious, because like from the gameplay video, it looked like you were just basically a bigger soldier. And so for me, I was excited that it seems like it's a really key thing that if you don't work together, you're really screwed. It's not like you're that much better in a Titan. It's that you need to have another person working with you. It's you got to have a lot of tactics to play as a Titan, or you're going to be screwed. So it wasn't just a free kill type of machine.
No, it definitely isn't. I like the effort they've put in to make them cool. Like, it's not just fun and well balanced. Like, they put real effort into making it feel cool. It never gets old. Every time you press the button, it goes, prepare for Titanfall. And like, it just comes like flying out of the sky, and you run and you jump, and your Titan grabs you and slams you in. And like, it's go time.
Yeah.
Like, I almost want to yell that every time I call it down.
do you have daddy issues? It just grabs me and embraces me in its arms.
Run towards it. Take me home, Titan, bro.
I love crushing enemy titans with it when you jump up and like
They
them
just
and
explode.
call it down on top of them.
I saw a cool one the other day where someone called one in on top of a drop ship.
Yeah, I did
Like
that.
the final drop ship.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sometimes on Fracture you
I
could
saw
do it.
another strategy that people were using is, they have the nuclear eject, I believe it was called.
Yeah.
As like a perk. Well, as soon as a dropship would come in, they would have 2 or 3 of the Titans stand right next to where it would spawn, and then they would all nuclear eject at the same time, and it would just destroy the ship. They wouldn't even try and shoot anybody. The whole team evac into it, and then they just blow it up. And it was hella points. It was ridiculous.
Did you guys see the video that Manus posted where he Falcon punched that one pilot out of the air with his giant Titan fist?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I didn't see that.
Kane got punched.
Oh man, the timing of that video is just perfect. Like it was Kane, you said?
Yeah.
He like rocket jumps, and the whole time he's like jumping past Menace. His Titan is just like pulling his fist back, and then just pow, right into the air he goes.
What I want to know is what type of licensing deal would it take to get the Pacific Rim DLC for this game?
Oh man.
Like,
Titans versus Kaiju. That'd be fun.
yes, the Titans aren't quite big enough. That's the thing, is we need the actual.
Well, apparently there's going to be like NPC monsters
I saw that.
in the game. So we're fighting, me and you, we're having a Titan fight, and then this big ass thing comes up and tries to eat one of us. So that's going to be
There was
that's going to be
someone
a lot of
saying
fun.
that they're actually not big.
Oh,
Yeah.
they should be big as a Titan.
There's
Well,
also some people
the
saying that
Titans
they're
aren't
just
that big.
they're just doing stuff in the background and not really any kind of threat. But we won't find out until the game's out, unless they actually decide to
I'm
answer our
excited
questions.
to know. Like, I don't care either way. The monsters will attack me or they look cool. I don't care. I just want. I want the
Do you
full
care
game.
that there's no single player?
Well, the single player is the multiplayer at the same time.
No, that's what I'm saying. Do you care that there's no single player campaign?
I thought you asked about it. No, I don't care at all, really. I mean, they're going to have that campaign multiplayer, which is going to make it seem like it, so I guess that's a replacement for it.
Kind of like Star Wars Battlefront had a campaign, but it was like just multiplayer with bots, but it kind of had a little bit of a mission to it, where you go from each map to map, but it felt like you were playing a campaign.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how they're going to be doing it, except you're going to be able to play with other people instead of just bots.
Mm-hmm.
Oddly enough, I haven't been a fan of. I think the last FPS single player that I really enjoyed was For My Sins: Modern Warfare 2. That campaign was just popcorn and beer. It was just fun. And like, I was thinking about it the other day that you could do an epic campaign in Titanfall for sure.
Oh, very.
The big
very
set
epic.
piece moments, and then you've got like your Titan, like your main character's Titan is with you like throughout the whole game, and over the campaign you see him like taking mad damage, and it stays that way. Like, he's got lumps of armor hanging off him and big rips in his arms and legs and stuff, and like, you really start to love this Titan that's like saved your ass in at least 4 cutscenes. And like, yeah, that'd be great. And then we were all talking about it. We were saying, yeah, you could have the bad guys hack your Titan, so the last thing you have to do to win is actually kill your own Titan. That would suck. It would be amazing. And we were all really getting into it. And then we were like, oh yeah, there's no single player. Shit.
Now there is some kind of indie game that I saw a trailer for, and the trailer, it showed like the world looked like it was already gone through an apocalypse and everything like that, and apparently there was this robot that was just sitting there, had a bunch of plants growing around it and stuff, and it showed it inside, and it like defibrillated the person that was in it and brought him back to life or something like that. So it's some kind of campaign game where you're a person with this mech during this apocalypse time, and it looks pretty interesting. I'm not sure what it's called though.
Nice.
Is anyone else a little bit worried that like we're going to get a bunch of games with mechs in them now?
No, I don't think so. Well, maybe.
I don't think so either.
Modern
You don't think so?
Warfare
Okay.
mechs.
I mean,
I think we will after this game.
I don't think
Gundam
mechs will be
game.
what gets picked up from the game as something that like people want to copy. It will, if anything, be a return to the aggressive movement.
the aggressive arena shooter.
Yeah,
I'd be all right with that.
I'd love
I
that.
think we've done
I think
giant,
the
bombastic,
parkour and
realistic.
stuff, it would be up more.
Yeah. Like Tribes Ascend tried to do that a couple years ago, but it was just too hardcore and it didn't catch on for enough people. So I think if they could I think Titanfall's got a good blend, and if more games kind of adopted that, I'd be okay with that. Some more futuristic shooters. I think like we've gone through the cycle. Everything was like futuristic shooters in the 90s, going into the early 2000s. Then we went to World War II, then modern, and now we're going back into the future. We're going back to the future, guys.
I hope what does catch on. I hope what does catch on is good development and good game
Don't be
mechanics.
silly, Joel.
and hit registration.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's probably an accident that this game works well. You know, like they're probably like, "Whoa, guys, that worked out well."
I know.
You
I know.
know.
Dave needs his realistic shooter where that bullet actually goes through the barrel and everything. But I'll take good gameplay over that any day.
EA has probably already bought up the developers who like made some iOS game or something. They're like, "Hey guys, we're gonna need Titanfall 2 next winter. So if you guys could go ahead and just start
For
get
6
going on that, that'd be
platforms,
awesome."
last gen consoles, current gen consoles, PC, and Game Boy.
No, it'll actually be this fall. It's not going to be next summer. It'll be this fall.
Yeah.
The beta comes out next week.
Oh, I figured out what that game's called. It's called Reset.
Reset.
I remember seeing a video.
Oh,
of
I
that.
did. I think I did donated on Kickstarter, but I don't think it made its Kickstarter goal. Sadly.
Unlike some people. Oh.
Well,
Here,
Thursday
in
we're
case
trying to
you
get like
wanna-
180,000.
In case you want to see it, there's the link for it.
Nice.
Okay, thanks.
Actually, I have a bone to pick with the Norman Kickstarter.
All right.
I successfully avoided like any interaction with Kickstarter because I'm like at best a consumerist and at worst an idiot with money. So I decided I wouldn't like do a Kickstarter, and then I saw the Norman thing and I'm like, oh shit, now I gotta kind of Kickstarter this. And I did, and now I'm just kicking everything that I see on that. It's like, oh, pledge. And I find myself sitting here thinking, I hope these fuckers fail. I hope every one of them fails.
That's the problem with Kickstarter is because you don't actually have to have a working idea. You just have to be able to make a pitch. There's so many ideas that like that you know are just not going to happen, but you want it to exist so bad.
Yeah.
Like you want to throw money at it because you want this thing to be real.
Stainless steel playing cards. I back that
Why?
shit. Why? Because
Why
I can
would-
sharpen up the edges and be Gambit from X-Men. Just cutting people down at the shop.
How much does that cost? How much did you pay for your playing
It
cards?
was only like $25. That's nothing.
Isn't a set of playing cards like $2?
Shut up.
These are playing cards
Okay.
for men,
But
Jeremiah.
he made some guy's dream come true.
He didn't get funding.
Oh.
The funniest thing I've seen was a guy was trying to get funding for a book of how to be successful and get funded on Kickstarter,
That had to be a meta joke.
and it never
That
got
had to be.
funded.
That had to be a joke.
It was perfect. He's like, this guy has had nothing but success on Kickstarter and all this stuff, and then it's like, pledged, 10% of what you needed. This has not been funded.
I think the dumbest one that I've ever seen, this was absolutely my favorite. I think it was on
I guarantee I can beat it, but go ahead.
Oh, this is pretty good. I think it was on Indiegogo. It was a YouTuber. He was like 15 years old. He had like 78 subs. And he started an Indiegogo called Help Buy Me a Titan, where he wanted a Titan graphics card. And like under the risk, like he had maybe one paragraph where he's like, my current computer is kind of slow. I like playing Minecraft and other games. I want to make more videos. Buy me a Titan. And under risk, it's like, I might get bored of making videos after a while.
That's too honest. That's way
Right.
too honest.
That was Titan.
Yeah, and then it was like $1,000. I think he got $12 total.
That,
12?
that was
It's
probably
probably-
his
it's
mom.
probably from
Bad,
him.
really.
So, here, this one's better. or worse. It depends.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
These college students, and you can never doubt the unfailing optimism of college students. No offense, K-Mac. You're what? You cut out.
Right on, brother.
Okay. So these guys were like, hey, we think we see areas to improve the iPhone, which there are areas you can improve the iPhone in. No arguments.
Now
there.
Joel's listening
But
right here. Balance MP is gonna get in on this.
They had an idea for the next generation of smartphone. This smartphone had full HD screens on the front and back. The sides were touch capacitive. You could use to adjust the brightness and volume. It charged using solar power through the screens. I believe it also charged by motion, like those watches, like the perpetual motion watches. It could charge through that. It had a 3-day battery life, twice as fast as an iPhone. And it was thinner. They wanted to sell them for $200. They wanted to have prototypes ready in 3 months, and they are asking for $5,000.
That's some big dreams right there.
Apple has like $100 billion in the bank. If any of that was remotely possible, don't you think Apple would be like, here's $5 billion, make it so?
Maybe that guy
Straight
was
money,
actually
man.
working underground for Apple, and he was like, I'm going to steal the technology and make a better phone. Maybe that's what it was.
That's totally what it is.
So he really
K-Mac.
could have done that, but he was like, but they didn't give me 5,000.
Oh yeah.
I refuse to believe that these kids actually thought like they were going to build any exactly. Yeah. Not even Bud Light. They were probably thinking about, what is it? Oh, what is the cheapest beer? I forget what the name of it is. I saw in Walmart the other day there was one in special. It was like It was like 30 cans for $11
Whatever
or
it was,
something.
what Daniel Matros bought all of us in London.
I know all about cheap beers. If you want a conversation about cheap beers, I can give you them all day. There is a beer that one of my buddies drinks. He's the poorest kid that I've ever met, and he drinks a 36-pack. It's called
Dave.
Boxer Light. I think it's like $13 for 36 cans. It is the worst beer.
Oh, that's awful.
It's so bad that it's affecting his internet.
I guess we should circle back around to Titanfall before we end the podcast. All right, K-Mac, you're frozen for like 20 seconds, and then you just came in saying, hate it.
Are we talking about Battlefield 4 again?
Whatever we hate, I'm sorry. But no, let's circle back around to Titanfall before we wrap the podcast down. So, like, what do you guys think needs to change? Does anything need to change about this game? For me, like, I'm at the point where as long as they don't screw everything up before it comes out, I'm happy with it as is.
I agree.
They need to change the
agree with
status
that.
from beta to released.
Yeah.
Totally.
Sell it for $30.
Yeah.
The weird thing is, I consider myself to be incredibly enthusiastic about this game, but not on the hype train.
I'd like to think that, but I think I'm on the hype train. I'm not going to buy it the day it comes out.
I think
I'm
if you were on the hype
train.
train, you'd be telling everybody it's good. You know, you'd be that guy. Like somebody would go, "I'm not a big fan of Titanfall," and you'd go, "Well, you're a fucking idiot then." That's, you know,
but they are idiots.
that's being on the hype train. I'm just in a place where I know I'm going to have fun with the game, and you know, other people can buy it or not buy it. It's not going to stop me having fun.
Are any of you going to buy it launch day?
Yes.
Oh, I will.
I hope
You're
I
not
will.
You're not worried about the servers being crashed and wrecked?
I don't know how many people know this, but I've got agoraphobia, so I don't go out much.
Uh-huh.
So my outsides need to be like completely planned in advance, and if they fail, I need a backup plan, which is like getting my fiance to go and get the game for me. So I need to commit to a day where
Wait,
I'm
go and get a game? You're not just going to download it?
No, if I download it, I'll actually end up spending more than if I just roll down to the local shop and pick it up.
Oh, you can actually get a discount.
Yep.
Oh. Where do you live?
Because they love us down there because we spend so much money in their stupid shop.
Is this a local British game shop, I'm guessing?
No, because I live in Ireland. Good geography, sir.
Oh, sorry.
That was so
All right,
American of you, Jeremiah.
what's really the difference? What's the difference?
So bad.
It's just the local GameStop, but they sort us out.
But so it actually is cheaper?
Yeah.
Huh.
I think that says a lot more about Origin's pricing model in
That's true.
the EU than anything else, though.
Well, good on you then. I'm glad you're able to get a discount on something.
I'm gonna like for $10. I'm not as free as you guys are, but I pay less for Titanfall.
Priorities.
They're about to do room checks right now, but $10 for Titanfall, man. Cavity searches suck.
Damn.
It's true. So you said that, like, I'm not sure if I feel better or worse about that.
If Dave could get all the games for like $1, he'd be like, "All right, take my guns."
No, he wouldn't.
And my innocence.
Dave has a dust cover that has Latin for "come and get it" on it.
Come and take it.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's a
Come and get it. It's a different shirt.
The person that kills you during the apocalypse.
That's carved into his headboard on his bed.
I always love that scene in Red Dawn where the Soviet Union is like invading the U.S. and one shot switches over to this like downtown small town community, and there's like one of those what is the classic was it Bronco, like 80s car, right?
80s SUV is totally a Ford Bronco. Yeah,
it's a Ford Bronco, and it's a close up of the bumper sticker on the corner of the window, and it says, "You can have my gun when you take it from my cold dead hands." And then the camera pans out. There's a guy laying on the pavement covered in blood, holding a 1911, and a Soviet paratrooper like reaches down and like jerks out of his hand. And, like all his friends are like nodding, like, "Yeah, nice find." I love that shot so much.
No, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait like 2 days after Titanfall. Well, I say I'm gonna wait 2 days. If on launch day everyone's saying servers are great,
I'm gonna message you and be like, "Dude, get on! You gotta play with me! Oh my gosh, it's amazing!"
I can't. My March schedule is the most insane month. It comes out the 11th, the 13th. We're all going on vacation the 13th.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Too.
Dang it.
Me too.
Yeah, so is that spring break for you?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be in Panama City Beach the whole week.
Yeah, so you're not gonna play it, I guess, right at launch.
Maybe I will.
I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna play it right at launch, and then like I get back in town on the 16th, and then the 20th I'm flying to Kansas. So, and I'm gonna be gone for like 6 days. So, it's probably gonna be 2 weeks before I really get into it. So hopefully by that point, if it's bad, I'll know. That's what I'm hoping. But I'm hoping if this game is broken when it comes out, I'm gonna be really sad. Like it's gonna affect me.
I see the tears coming down your eyes.
It made me a little bit uncomfortable, actually, Jeremiah.
Guys, I'm affected by this.
I'm
gonna be double affected. I mean, I'm using a controller, so I feel the emotions, guys.
I'm gonna be so sad. I'm gonna be so sad for K-Mac because then he's not gonna have any games to play.
All right,
again
I have
on the
nothing.
Xbox.
I have Battlefield and Call of Duty. That's it.
Come on, build a computer, dude. Just do it. Just do it.
If I had some money, I would, man.
That YouTube money, though.
I just spent $400 paying taxes. I had to pay Uncle Sam $400.
Yeah, that's tomorrow morning for me. I'm really looking forward to that.
I'm poor, so I get a refund.
I even tried to like itemize like my Xbox and tried to write off all my gaming expenses, and I still ended up owing money. It was a bunch of bullshit.
Here. I'm just going to show you. I doubt you feel sorry for me because you have no reason to. But this is. Hold on, I've got more. This is like 200 pages of bank statements, W-2s, 1099s. Like, I have this giant mess I'm going to dump on someone's desk tomorrow morning and go, please, please.
You're going to ruin someone's Friday. How dare you?
Taxes. How do they do taxes in Ireland? I'm genuinely curious. This is just showing my American
ignorance.
You mean Britain? But
yeah, you don't mean Britain? We've got a system here called Pay As You Earn, where it's just automatically deducted each week from your paycheck.
Right.
Just like, boop, it's gone.
Right.
And off it goes into the government coffers where they, I don't know, spend it on booze and prostitutes, I assume.
Sounds about
right. The way it works is that if you ever find yourself in a position of like unemployment or in need of assistance, how much you have paid will dictate how much you get back.
Well, that's interesting.
It's pretty much the way it works. So the more you, to be honest, that's the only reason I can afford to be sick for the last like 2.5 years, because I paid a considerable amount of tax previous to that. So I'm good on that front, which is nice.
Okay, but do you have to like file paperwork at the end of the year? Because we have withholding throughout the year. If you have a normal W-2 job, like your employer withholds taxes, and then really, if you just have one job with one W-2, you just have to fill out a very brief bit of paperwork, and then you find out if you get any money back or not.
All that for us is done at the actual start of the employment process. Like, let's say I, was better tomorrow and had a job next week, and I started. It would take like a couple of weeks where I would be charged at what is this thing known as emergency tax rate, which is, I think it's like 48% of your your paycheck, and then after that, you send in your forms to the tax office. They work out your tax rate, because we've got different tax rates depending on how much you earn annually, and then you get whatever the difference is back. Which is actually awesome when you start like a new job and the first couple of weeks suck, and then you're sitting on this massive stack of cash all of a sudden because all your tax comes back. You're like, wow, I'm just getting so wasted.
That's right. That's how I feel every day. Just sitting on mass.
All that Hollywood money, Joel, coming in.
All of it, dude. So much, man. It's gotta burn some of it. It's like, I can't get my door open.
Like Scrooge McDuck, just swimming around in a silo of gold coins.
Exactly. Thanks, everyone. I'm making a longer trailer of Norman. Right? That's what I said, right? Just a longer trailer.
K-Mac's connection went out, so unfortunately he dropped. But while we wrap up the podcast, I don't want to, but this is officially the longest podcast we've ever done, so I feel like I need to rein it in a little bit. We're going to return a segment which we haven't done in a while just because we've forgotten, so for no particular reason. But 60 Seconds with Joel, a part of the podcast where Joel talks about something for usually much longer than 60 seconds. Joel, go.
So, talking about Titanfall, one of the awesome things about the game, I think we can all agree, is the double jump, is the fluidity. But do you guys know where the double jump came from? Do you know what game started it all off?
Mario?
No! Gosh, I don't even think Mario has a double jump. No, it doesn't.
Just guessing.
Yeah, you were dead wrong.
There's a third jump with Yoshi.
It was a game made in
No one cares, Yoshi.
It was a game made in 1985 by Namco called Dragon Busters. Dragon Buster. It was a dungeon crawl action role-playing platform arcade game.
Wow.
So I just thought that was interesting.
Say all that again?
It's a dungeon crawl action role-playing platform arcade game.
Romance action adventure MMORPG.
I thought that was interesting
edition.
because I thought it actually was a Nintendo game as well, but all the games spawned from there. They just became a thing, the double jump. So that's all I have. So it's less than 60 seconds, I think.
Wow. That's the first time where I've learned something new, and you've taken less than your allotted amount of time.
We should just call it...
So good job.
The part of the podcast where we give Joel way too much power.
Okay, so as we're winding down, what does everyone want to pimp out? I want to pimp out the DayZ the Berezino Bloodbath coming up this Saturday, the 22nd. At 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are going to tweet out a server, and we want everyone to hop in and hunt us down in Berezino, and we want to have a big old-fashioned gunfight in the middle of Berezino. And the Teamspeak info and stuff is on videos on both of our channels. If you need that, we'll also be tweeting that out. Follow us on Twitter, at EvilViking, at GermGaming, at Casual Shenanigans. And you can get all the info about that, but we want as many people as possible to come participate. Also, joined the new Casual Shenanigans Gaming Steam group, which is currently sitting high on, I think, 6 members.
All of them us.
No, actually, you would think that, because I just created it last night.
Which means that half of our...
Oh, no, actually, we're up to 17 members, actually.
I was going to say.
That went quickly. So, yeah, join the group. I don't know what we're going to do in it, necessarily. But it's a nice thing to have. So
You can announce events and stuff with it, I believe.
Yes,
You can
I've already
spam
scheduled the
people's
event for
Steam
this
accounts,
Saturday.
Yeah. Like,
Scanner, what would you like to pimp out
Uh,
as we're winding down? This is the shameless section, just everything.
what? So I can just like pimp myself.
Yes.
right.
So basically, anybody who hasn't been pissed off by me to the point where you want to punch my face, before anybody, I always try and like let people know this before they try and check out my channel. My channel is a very like bipolar place. I like to like take a really serious look at some aspects of gaming. Like if there's stuff that happens in the community or the history of game mechanics or the culture of gaming and things like that, I love doing that kind of shit. And then the next video is going to be me running somebody over in a skid loader. That's just how I roll my channel. So if you like variety, check it out. But if you like people who like only play one game and are really boring, dull, lack of personality YouTubers, then don't come check out my channel because you'll surely hate me.
Hey guys, it's Scanner Barkley.
Yeah, that's the Mantis thing. Hi guys, man is here.
I'm just kidding. He's gotten way more upbeat with his intros, probably because everyone teases him.
Yeah, because everybody makes fun of him. But like, yeah, I don't know. Check out my video that I'm going to put in after their like bloodbath thing where I kill them all in DayZ.
Oh yeah, do that.
and
Definitely.
teabag us afterwards.
I'm going to bring my whole Teamspeak and we're gonna clash with you guys.
Bring it on, Buttercup.
It'll be a lot of fun. Some of the guys are really good and some of the guys are really bad. So either way, it's gonna be hilarious.
That is us in a nutshell. We have a mixture of guys who, like me and Dave, who've been playing this game for 2 years now, and then we have guys who are still trying to. And Yoshi, sorry, I wasn't trying to exclude you. And then we've got guys who have been playing for like 1 week. So it's going to be a fun mixture of, wait, how do I open up my inventory? And frantically screaming commands about buildings.
That was freaking Joel a few episodes in the middle of like a really intense encounter. In the background, you hear Joel going, wait, which key is the inventory again? Like, what? The alpha came out 2 months ago.
My personal mission will be to try and make Dave eat some rotten fruit. Because
tie him up and force feed him.
Yeah, because killing a man is just too easy. But trying to like get into your blockade without being like spotted or shot and get up behind somebody and handcuff them and then force them to eat my rotten bananas in a symbolic gesture of like, that's gonna be good fun.
I'm scoped in on the balcony with
once
my
you have
Mosin
purged your stomach, once you have purged your stomach of all of its contents, and once you are close to death, and once you are extremely hungry and dehydrated, then you have my permission to die.
I'm gonna be all scoped in on the balcony with my Mosin, and I'm gonna see like a hand just come around with a rotten banana like slowly in between the scope.
They just like take out the machete and just chop off my arm.
No tears, only diarrhea.
If we could end on a little bit of DayZ news just for Joel, I have 2 quick items just for Joel.
You have 1 minute, Dave. Literally 1 minute. We're not
this week on DayZ with Dave.
We have just crossed the 2-hour mark.
Joel, there are 2 things.
I have to still do my Yoga X, P90 X3, so just keep going, Dave.
Tonight?
Yep.
Why would you do that in the evening?
Because I wasn't able to do it earlier, so I have to do it now.
This is all for you, Joel. Okay. 2 things that I know you've been about in DayZ are now confirmed. Fishing is confirmed. They're working on fishing right now.
Nice.
And nudity is being discussed. So you'll have a reason to take your pants off. Well, not that you need more of a reason to do so, but you'll be doing it more often, I'm sure.
I'm calling up Carlson right away.
I saw Scanner's reaction. That was hilarious.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited
Just
for both of
discussion.
those because I want to do a DayZ series, like a full series where I live off the land. That's it. I'm not allowed to
As a
loot
naked
anything.
Like
crazy
a
man?
Naked and Afraid DayZ style.
Yeah, I'm just going to be nude and fishing. So
You can do that when you're nude. You just dangle the bait in the water.
Exactly.
I can tell you what I can tell you what the animation is going to be for fishing, though. Knowing them, it'll probably be the eating animation. Like this, you'll do like this. You'll hear like a sound of fishing. You won't have any rod or anything. They'll just like, you caught a fish. Like what? Like nom nom.
And then you eat it.
Have you played that
There's a
recently?
fishy taste in your mouth. Dave has.
You are getting wet. You are not getting wet. You are getting wet. You are not getting wet.
Yeah. Why is there a notification for you're not getting wet? You're not tired.
Oh my god.
Your feet don't
What's
hurt.
great
You
is-
don't have a weird taste in your
And you
mouth.
Haven't been shot in the face.
In the experimental build, there's a sound too. It's temporary. It won't be in the stable version when you get under cover. So as you're like running through the forest and it's
Literally
raining,
wrapping up.
you're hearing like ding, 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 ding as you go in and out of cover. It's perfect. It's like Morse code.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming out and joining us this evening. Scanner, thank you for joining us. I know it was very last minute.
Oh no, thanks very much for having me.
I've sent you invitations before, but they're always at very inopportune times. I'm very bad at scheduling things. So thank you for being willing to come out and talk Titanfall and everything else with
No
us.
problem.
Check out Scanner's podcast, Cat Melosion,
Do it.
which posts on Sunday evenings, or it's live on Sunday evenings on Twitch, where they talk about all manner of things, also related to gaming. Not as good as this podcast, of course.
We're only
of
new,
course.
but we are the longest running podcast in the history of podcasts called Cat Melosion. So
That's
There's
true.
that.
It's a word I did not know
World
existed
record.
before then. So at least you have that going for you. And large channels are actually come to your podcast, so that's there's a few differences. But thank you everyone for coming out. Follow us on Twitter at Casual Shenanigans, at Germ Gaming, at Scanner Barkley, at Evil Viking. Right into the show if you want to be a part of it at casualshenanigans@gmail.com. Send in all manner of technical questions and other comments.
Hate mail.
We
To
might-
me.
hate mail is good too, and we may or may not read them. But thank you all for joining us. We hope to see you Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Follow us on Twitter for all the details, and we will see you guys later.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.
bye bye.
Stay casual.
I don't even fight it anymore. It's just